Well, I've already marked these elevators here, and I'm going to go ahead and cut the hinge slots. Remember, if you get one of these Harbor Freight saws, this is the only thing it's good for. So there's my hinge pockets. I don't know what happened to my tool to cut the slot, but so I might have to make another one. I loaned it to Steve. I know he brought it back. I just don't know what I did with it. Isn't that a bitch? In here. Shit. Okay, we're just gonna make another one. Let's make it out of balsa wood instead of plywood. Wait a minute, what's this? Yep, I got it right here. Then you're gonna make a tool that looks like this, and that's for the recessing of the hinge pins. I've shown this a bunch of times, but So we really need it 3/16, but that doesn't look like it's 3/16. It looks like it's a little over an eighth. It is 9/64. So we need to sand that back a little bit more. The paint stick. Use this with a piece of 80. Actually, could probably just put another piece of sandpaper on this. Let's try that. See what happens. Now, that's it. That's it. Now these are 3/8 thick, so the hinge pin needs to be set back 3/16 of an inch. Yeah, I don't use those plate hinges anymore. I have a Great Plains slot machine here too, but I don't use those hinges. I use my own design hinges. Okay, now I need to make up some hinges. Where's the vise? There it is, way over there. I'm gonna have to start looking for some more eyelets, I think. I think I'm just about, oh no, I got them other ones. That's right. Damn. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Let's see. No, these are larger elevators that I made for the airplane I'm building. This is the elevator that you guys saw me build for that airplane. This is the elevator that's going to go on it. It's 14 square inches bigger. This one is much bigger than this one. I got to looking at it while I was taping those stripes off and realized I didn't make it big enough. Yeah. See, I had a problem with my concourse winning Monado. I was flew all right. It just didn't have the authority I wanted for turn. So there's a video on my channel somewhere where I took it out to the Dayton field, and I brought it back to John's house, and I cut the elevators off and built bigger ones, and it flew much better, much more gooder. Much more gooder. You know, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, it's noticeable. I'm not sure that you really need brass in these, but I've been doing it with brass, so we're going to continue to do it. I'm going to have to get some more of these micro rivets, grommets. One more. No, one more. Looks like I already got some wires cut. That's a good thing. I came on early tonight to see if we can get some more work done than normal. Okay, I got wires cut even. hinge pins. Hey. Let me see these here. I got special pliers for this even. I wonder if they'll bend them. They'll bend a push rod, but I might have to drill a new hole in this. We won't worry about it today. Now I'm going to need to re-drill this, but you want to bend a wire with a pair of pliers easily. I have this hole set up for 3/32, but these wires here are like 40 thousandths. You just drill a hole right there in the end of the pliers. You stick this wire in there like that, let it stick out, and then close them, and that bends the wire. Just go to Harbor Freight and buy a cheap set of Lyman pliers and drill a hole in it. I would never do it to my snap-on pliers or anything, but Harbor Freight, you know.
Let me know when you're ready to eat.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock?
Yeah.
And at 7?
What's today?
Friday.
This isn't Friday.
Yeah, it is. All day.
Oh. Well, I'm already online, so let me look here. Today's Thursday. Gotta be. Don't know what day it is even. Let's check it out. Come on. Yeah, you're right. Friday. Yeah, 8 o'clock. And normally I eat early on Friday, but seeing as we started the show early, it's all right. Now we did do it with a carbon rod embedded in the end and then put a wire in from the end so you could change these out. But that was John's idea, and Yeah, it was all right. I mean, but I don't want to carry around the extra weight of that carbon tube and that long piece of wire. And normally, once you put these on, you ain't changing them out. Okay, so I got a piece of wood here that was cut off the ends of that, so it's the same material. See if we can't make something up for them plugs. If I can find my stripper. 2 block planes and no stripper. I gotta clean this. Out of control. Working on so hard on building model airplanes, the place has gone to shit. Okay, now what? Okay, what are we gonna do? I guess I'll just cut it by eye. Stick these in here. Okay. That here. And when I bring the airplane back in, I'll put one elevator of each on it, and I'll show you the difference. It's huge, huge difference. So what happened was I basically did the same exact thing I did when I built the Monado. Go, that looks about right, and that wasn't right. So, okay, we need a piece that is a 1/2 inch. I wish I could find my stripper. Wish I could find the stripper. But you guys got to remember, I did all this shit by hand and by eye before I got any machines. Machines just make it faster. Need to sand a little. Easy peasy. Things that make you go, now how did that happen? What am I not seeing? Hmm, I did it wrong. How could I have done that wrong? So we're gonna have to hand fit each one. Hand fit each one. There it is. This is the inboard one. Oh, I missed. Oh, because they don't have the stripper. That's why. Now, what makes a nice thing about these type hinges is they're way freer than a blade hinge. I mean, 10 times as free. They're way lighter. They're glued wood on wood. So, them other things are plastic on wood. It's pretty ingenious how this thing works with the grain going crossways against the pin. The pin is never going to pull out. Plus, you got the silk span wrapped over that thing. It ain't coming apart. It can't. Or it can, but it would take an awful lot. Unbelievable. I guess it'll be all right. Make sure when you're CAing these things in that you are putting the glue going downhill. You don't want to go into the hinge. You glue the hinge in and you start again. Okay. Yeah, it's faster just to sand it. Faster just to sand it. That's one done. We'll spend about 10 minutes detail sanding it, and I'll start covering these tonight, or at least get the dope on them. This is 180 here. I'll give you a close-up what this looks like. Get it finished sanded here. This is inboard. I think I'm going to resand the shape of the elevator too, so it's absolutely perfect. The stabilizer, I mean. The tips. Let's see, I saw that sitting where? I need to put these knives in the Amazon. I also added decal paper in the Amazon store for you guys who are making decals. The paper I use, because it was a guy on a stun hanger that was asking where to get decal paper. Well, get it from me. I should have went with 320 instead of 400, but I'll get it. Well, we only got 10 tonight. I've done this in the first hour. Let's see if we can't get them completed and on the airplane before we quit. That way I can paint them tomorrow. All right, here's one completed. Ready to dope. Get all them scratches out of it. And them hinges are just as free as can be. Okay, that's one. I do not understand how I missed on that, though. So the line of thinking is, I could either make these bigger or fly it and cut the flaps smaller, or cut them off and make them bigger. So it's just as easy to make them bigger now and not worry about it. Pretty important you get that pin centered and parallel in the trailing edge. This thing here just does not want to seem to cooperate. Try it right there. And don't want to play. Why? Must have a hard spot in the wood. We'll just cut it out. There it is. There it is. I did exactly what I told you not to do. It wicked up the way and locked up the hinge. Damn. Might have to make a new hinge. Okay. Okay. I got it. I got it. I got it. Try again. I do not know why it wicked uphill like that. Okay, you want to play like that? No problem. We'll go the opposite direction. Thing. Why is that twisted like that? Hmm. Yeah, this one might be a little harder. Okay, try again. Good evening, Roy. Let's see. May I get? I might. Many. I missed something. You are making a new elevator. New elevator. Yes. New elevator. What you missed was last night I said while taping off the stripes, I got to looking at it, and it just looks too small. So we're not going to have another Monado experience where I got to remake one in the middle of the season. So I'm not in a big rush with this airplane. I don't need content because I got plenty of content on the page. I want, I want a front row airplane. Whether it's going to win the concourse or not, that's entirely up to the people. I mean, that's a hard one to call. As a matter of fact, whether it'll be on the front row or not is hard to call. Depends on who's judging. But I'm going to bring it up to Jim Lynch standards, and that's about as best I can do. It won me one concourse, so I mean, just winning one. There's many guys who never won one. Then there's Wendy, who's won them all. But he did nice work. I can't get it. What's the deal? That's probably too much now. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. When that glue wicked up there, I knew damn well it was locked up. Okay, that's good enough. Okay. Okie dokie. Yeah, it looks pretty good. This is 400. We can't. Yeah, I'll be sanding on that for a week at 400. Need 180. I'm gonna have to throttle that heater back. Too warm. Yeah, I did not realize this was Friday. Ever since we did away with Friday night hangout. Of course, I always come on Friday anyway now, still. And we're back to real numbers now. I don't know what it was about that Friday night hangout nobody liked. All right, sand it with 400. We're done sanding. Then we can put some dope on it. Got the tissue out already for it. You guys have really noticed this. Finally got a camera. Hope to join you Monday night if I can get on. I'm a tech challenge sometimes. Well, if you'd like to join me tonight, I can put a link in the chat here, and you can come in on the StreamYard side. Because I ain't doing nothing but farting here. StreamYard's a lot easier than Zoom, I think. Chapers. Terry Forbes recommended that I get these spatulas, and you get, I don't know, 14 of them for $7. Whatever it was. It wasn't very expensive. These are really good for smoothing on putty. I don't know that I got them in my store or not. If I don't, let me know. I'll put them in there. Let's see if we got it done right. My square that I made myself out of wood. Two paint sticks. Three, four, five. Just hang on the nail. The other nail that I need. All right. Here's the ones that were on it. I want you to see the difference. Huge difference. Okay. So the first thing we need to check is that do they work? This is the out. Come on now. There it is. I got aluminum tubes embedded in there, so it's got to be fit perfect. Yeah, it works good. Okay, let's see how it feels. Oh yeah, we got some authority now. We got some up authority now. Okay, now you want to see how big they are compared to the other ones. That's in. These would have probably worked, but And I had to run too much tail weight or cut the flaps or something. So it's just better to add the bigger ones. That's the difference in size. I'm gonna need to plug that and re-drill it. It's too loose. We got some deflection. Of course, you don't use that much, but yeah, I think it looks more proportioned for a stunt plane with the bigger ones on it. So give me some feedback. What do you think? Are the bigger ones, you think the bigger ones would be better or the smaller ones? Yeah, we're going to plug that with wood. It's too loose. I'm sure to be all right for when I epoxy them in, but loose right now. Okay, I got to dig up a brush and get some dope going. We'll put this back on the stand. Gotta turn real good. 4-inch form. It's 8-inch, 2 3/4, whatever. And I could have tapered them up just a little more, but I don't know. Let me get this off the bench and we'll start doping. Okay, we want base. Here we go. I already got base mixed up here. We'll save these for something. I'll use them somewhere. 40 size airplane, probably. I need a brush. Let me get my brush. On the top. I guess I ought to put this brush for the discerning modeler in my store too. I think they're only about $17 or $18, but it beats the heck out of them $3 hobby shop brushes. How thick is the stabilizer? Stabilizer is 1/2 inch thick. Elevators are 3/8 thick. This was made 11/27, so I've been working on this finish now 2 months. Now this is my secret concoction to clear. It looks white, but it's clear. So when you get down to the end, this thing will be white before I have to shoot it. So it doesn't take much paint. I had a really weird dream this morning about Bernie Trent. We're at a contest. This is the weirdest dream. We're at a contest and we got ready to leave, and my exhaust manifold bolt broke. And he offered to help me. I said, "Nah, just go ahead and take off." And somewhere I got an exhaust manifold bolt. I don't know why I was thinking of Bernie Trent. He ain't a mechanic. And I fixed it, and I ran into him at a rest stop on the side of the road, and I handed him the bolt back, and I said, "This is for you." Stupid. Any of you guys know Bernie Trent? He's the paint man. I'm sure if Tom Luciano's watching, or what some of them East Coast guys are watching, they know who I'm talking about. For the life of me, why would I think of Bernie Trent and an exhaust bolt? I was tempted to call him today to make sure he's okay. Because, you know, sometimes them subliminal messages get you. Looks like I didn't get some quite sanded good enough. I'll have to sand on it some more. I should have used 320 instead of 400. Oh well, I'll get it. Don't go nowhere. Man, that looks like shit. Oh well. Have to put some speckle in it. That little trip that Bernie and I were on had to be Brodax, because I think that's the only place I've ever seen him is Brodax. I mean, we talk all the time, but okay, now it's just a matter of waiting on dry. Shut to dry, then get another coat. We get 3 coats on it. Seeing as that I'm going to be waiting on something to dry, let me bring somebody into StreamYard to talk to, because you want me to stay on more than my normal, I need somebody to talk to. So we'll copy this, paste this over here. Now this is not a normal hangout. This is just, I'll bring 1 or 2 guys in and we'll talk. But this is not Zoom. This is StreamYard. And all you got to do is click that link and follow the prompts. It'll bring you right in the chat box. This is gonna be nice. Be nicer than them little ones anyway. Got to get some clear on this thing. The humidity's going up. It's at 52% right now. It was down to 45. Because I definitely don't want to happen to this is what happened to that flight streak, ruin that flight streak with that blush in it. After all this work, I couldn't live with it. Probably use retarder right from the gate anyway. Which is odd because I've seen Bob Brookins paint in the rain at Rodex and not end up with any blush. And one good thing about the heat is it's making the paint dry. I'm going to add some more thinner to this. One more coat of this and then get some more thinner in it. If you'd like to join me, look in the chat box. There's a StreamYard link. Click on that. Come on in and we'll talk. This is kind of a Q&A session. This is the inboard. So this is the bottom. I think the weight difference is going to be about 7 to 10 grams. I didn't have the best wood for this, but I used 4.5 or 5 pound wood on the other elevators, and this is 5.7 pound wood. That's kind of outside the norm, but we're building a lumber wagon, so don't worry about it. Today I had 12 calls to buy my house. Guys. So if you're calling me and you're not on the list, on my contacts list, you're going to be sent a voicemail. You're going to get a message like, "Hello, thanks for calling. The house is not for sale and I don't know you. So leave a message. I'll get back to you." That's if you're not on my contact list. This right here is the most important part to the finish. It ain't the painting, it's the sanding. We don't want no paint on this to speak of. It's very lightly. And I could have swore today was Thursday. But I'm on here, so should be painting this tomorrow. So we'll do a Saturday in the shop. And those are an informal thing where you can watch, I'll just let it run. This is nice. Let's see what the difference in weight is between the two. Let's see what the difference in weight is. I know the scale's around here somewhere. Yep, in here. It's only a gram heavier, so but there's still got to get paint on it, so it'll be. This is 24 and that's 25, but there's no paint and tissue on it. Yeah, it shouldn't be too much. Maybe a quarter ounce more. It's a lot way back there, but what are you gonna do? You got to get it done. This is the outboard, so this is the top. God, I love working with dope. It's just so easy. I just wish it dried faster. Of course, it dries faster than anything else, urethane, but just still ain't fast enough for me. That was my favorite thing about DC 540 is the insta dry. I mean, it was dry now and sand in 5 minutes. This U-Pole primer we're using, Steve used it, and it acts almost like DC 540. It just doesn't dry as fast. It sands as good. It must be missing the xylene in it or something. Let's see. Yeah, we got to do one more coat on this to make it equal with that, the other one. And then we'll put some thinner in that. Fill her up with thinner. I never thought about putting this brush in my store. Sure makes it nice. I just don't know how many modelers are that dedicated. This is a sign painter's brush. I don't know how many modelers are going to be that dedicated to buy a decent brush to paint with. With this brush here, you could do a brush dope finish and make it look nice. Whereas them Shaper's brushes I got, the ones that feel like they're made out of broom, broom straw, they're cheap, but they leave lots of brush strokes. You could actually do a brush finish with this brush. Okay. And I'd like to get the tissue on it tonight so it would dry up for tomorrow. Let me get some thinner in here. You got to be careful. I got a gallon of retarder. The retarder and the thinner look the same. Okay, this mixture right here started out, fill it up almost 50% with white. Put 4 of these big spoons in it of clear. You got to put clear, excuse me. Mix it almost 50% with clear. Then you put 4 of these big spoons of white in it, and then fill it up with thinner. And as you're using it, this is probably the second time it's been filled with thinner. You just keep adding thinner until it's straight thinner, and then it's unusable. But this right here is enough to do another airplane. So basically, you almost get 2 airplanes out of 1 jar. And that's close. Too bad I got them scratches in it, though. I didn't sand out them scratches good enough. But get some 320 on it. Because they will come back. This is the end board. This is the top, and this is good, but the bottom's got like 4 or 5 scratches there. That's another thing Steve is learning. Before you put your paper on, make sure the wood is scratch free. Like I say, the top here is pretty good. Down to 400, 320, minimum 320. Now I sanded this with 80 grit to shape it, and then 180'd it. And I've still got a few of the 80 grit scratches in it. And even though that you think that you'll be able to get them, you'll get them out. If you don't go all the way down and get them out, they will show up under the covering. Like I told Steve, before you paint the part, it must look like plastic. And then it's a fine coat of paint. you're not laying it on. You're just covering it. You don't need to hog it on there. Let me get some 320 here. 320. 320. Where'd you go? It's 80. That's my roll of 320. That's 80. That's 400. 180. I should have a blue roll. Steve. Blue roll of 320. Oh, here it is. And I can't find something that's over Steve's using it. So we got 320. I'm going to sand until I get them scratches out. Now, could it be done with 400? Yes. It would take longer to do. We'll get it with a 320 and then hit it with a 400 and then put some more dope on it. Balling up a little bit. Not quite dry enough. I wonder if that sanding stick would do this. First time I've tried this, and it works. This is available at my store. This is for cleaning your sanding disc, but it also works on sandpaper. That's cool. Clean out the goobers. I usually just wipe it on my pants, but because it's so fresh, it didn't want to come off. You see them white spots on there? If you're going to do what I'm doing and rush the sanding, you don't want to leave them white things on there. They'll make deep grooves in the wood. I got them. I got them. I can basically tell when it's loading up, because I've only sanded 1 or 2 airplanes. Of course, that all depends on how hard you're pushing and how fresh the dope is. That looks better than the first one. That's good. Gary Sinclair, if you're watching, come on in. Somebody got to come in and talk to me. John Suklak, come on in. Yeah, it's better. It's a getting there. This is a crash course on the quick finish. Yeah, got through without any big ball ups. Looks good. Now we're down to 400. Then we'll give it another coat of dope and do the other one. Should be ready to cover it. Monday, you said I don't know. I have no idea. You gonna run it? Okay, hold on a second. There you go, John.
Hey, Sparky.
Hey,
You said to come in, so I came in to say hi.
all right. It's better than talking to myself.
Yeah, sometimes that's true.
Roy Lane. Here we go. Let's try Roy. We'll get him in there too. Okay. Hey, Roy.
Hey. What? Glad to meet you guys finally.
Somebody yelled at him, or he's got a window open. You got any YouTube windows open?
I just closed yours out.
Right.
I did. I just closed it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't have no windows open when you're streaming. Then we'll get an endless loop feedback. What kind of stuff do you build, Roy?
I'm just getting back into it about a year now. Got ringmasters, lightning streak, working on a twister.
Oh
A
no,
ringmaster 576 to get started on.
the dreaded twister.
But I got to get where I can get a whole flight in without falling down.
So, Roy, you said you're just getting back into it. What did you fly in the past?
Back in high school, it was just ringmasters and some combat planes.
Okay.
High school friend of mine. Then I joined the Air Force and got busy. Just got back into it this year. Never did anything competitive, never built anything fancy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm learning a whole lot.
Well, it's a tremendous opportunity to have access to all these videos that Sparky does
Oh yeah.
to learn from. When you haven't been around it for a long time, you haven't been around people that can help you. Makes a big difference.
A
Learning
whole
from
lot
the kids,
changed
are
from
you?
back in the 60s.
Hmm.
Not the same, but still a lot different.
Hey, John, you learning from the kids?
Yeah. Oh yeah. A little bit. Yeah.
Here's the funny thing. I'm yeah, I'm younger than you, but I ain't no kid. I've been doing this 60 years.
I know.
And it just seems odd.
So Sparky, here's something funny. You mentioned the kid, and I'm assuming you're referring to my grandson Tyler, who you've seen a couple times at the Nats.
Yeah.
Something you said to him the first time you met him. This is funny how it stuck with him. I don't know why. I'm not sure why you said this, but when we were talking, John Jordan was there too, and you looked at him and said, "And don't let your grandpa fly your airplanes; he'll crash them."
Yeah.
To this day, he won't let me. And the thing is, he's learning. He flies pretty good, but his next step has to be learning to fly inverted. And and I build airplanes for him that I think will be good for him to learn with. And in the old days, before you said that to him, I would always fly the airplane first to make sure it was going to be pretty flyable for a beginner. But now he won't let me. I'll ask him. I'll say, "You want me to fly this once before you fly it, Tyler? Like we always used to?" Nope. Sparky said not to let you fly my airplanes.
How old is he?
When Sparky met him, he was 7. He's now 9.
Oh yeah.
Well, he'll be fine because the reason why I told him that is my dad used to do the same thing, and he crashed my airplanes, and I never got to fly them. So it's better just to fly them yourself.
That's fine. It's all good.
If they're going to get crashed, you might as well be the one that crashes them, especially if you built them.
Yeah, I suppose.
I built a baby ringmaster for my 6-year-old great grandson, but he won't listen long enough to really learn how to fly. Things pick it up and go.
Okay, I need to do one thing. You guys keep talking. I'm going to start a Zoom meeting. We're not going to broadcast this Zoom meeting.
Yeah, that'll cost you in your numbers, won't it?
Yeah. I think I'll wait till this is over. Leave meeting. I'll wait till this is over in an hour at 8 o'clock and then start the Zoom meeting. And I'm not going to broadcast it.
I think it's kind of amazing how when you run a Friday night Zoom, you lose members.
Well, I'm just now back to even. I'm on the plus side. 28 days in the month, I'm 30 members up. So that's one a day.
But on Monday nights when you have a hangout, you don't have that problem, right?
I haven't had any cancellations on Mondays, only Fridays.
I just think that's weird. I don't understand that at all. I mean, I can see people being tied up on Friday nights. People do things on Friday nights sometimes, but why would it instigate people dropping? I don't get that.
I don't either, but this meeting here, running it this way, gained members since I started doing it this way.
That's a mystery as to why, but it is what it is.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do? Yeah.
I just didn't want to come, within 6 months not have any members left. I'm running a Friday meeting.
So, Roy, I think you said did you say great grandson?
Yeah.
6? Did you say he was 6?
What's that?
He's 6 years old?
6
Yeah. And the airplane you built him, is it gas or electric?
is gas.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
049?
049.
Cox?
Yeah. Zipper. Kind of like a old Golden Bee.
Mm-hmm.
My first airplane was a Wenmac.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Maybe this spring you'll settle down a little bit. You're a little ADHD. Watches YouTube too much. Just pick it up and you can do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't want to listen.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully he's watching my channel. I think I told your grandson too to stick with it, because if you can do this, you can do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe you did, Sparky.
I think this particular hobby right here is fundamental. It would be fundamental for all boys to learn. So that you change a tire, solder, whatever.
Yeah. You learn how to use tools, and you learn about sanding and adhesives and how to construct something. It's very useful.
Well, it teaches you how to read blueprints.
Yeah, to reading the plans, absolutely. There's a lot you can get out of it, for sure.
Back in the day, everybody grew up on the farm. You learned all that just in life.
Yeah, well,
These kids don't do it anymore.
No, you don't. No.
They don't learn anything about life.
Yeah.
There's one thing I wish I would have took when I was in high school that I thought was too sissy, and that was typing. If I'd have known what I know now, I'd have took typing, because I'm self-taught typer. Been doing it 20 years, and I'm probably up to 40 words a minute, which ain't bad.
Yeah, we had no idea how useful that would be in the future because of computers.
Yep. Well, that was for the girls. I didn't want to be in there. I wanted to be. What I used to do in school, in high school, is I had auto shop, metal shop, wood shop, drafting, physical education, and homeroom. That was because I had all my credits done. So the whole senior year was like going to work. It wasn't like going to school. But on break, I would take my airplanes. I had airplane parts, and I'd put them in the locker, and I'd go behind the library where everybody was smoking, and I'd whip out them airplane parts and be sanding.
That's great.
But what do you do it while I'm building airplanes? I'm sanding.
That's great.
At least you're productive.
Well, I hadn't talked to my dad after the service for quite a few years, and he's a World War II vet, AO 62, and he said, "Are you still building airplanes?" Did you meet him? He came to the Nats with me a couple times.
I didn't get to meet him. No.
He's in Windfall's stunt history book, but anyway. He said, "You still building airplanes?" I said, "Oh yeah." He said, "We'll never give it up," because he was a big instrumental in my building career. They bought a hobby shop for so that they could supply wood and all kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He flew in '48 after the war. And it's a shame. The greatest generation is slowly peeling away.
Yeah, my dad was in the service during the Korean War, and he was a B-29 engine mechanic.
ADR.
Said and he was in at Randolph Air Base in Texas. Said it was the best 4 years of his life. He had a ball.
Good place.
Thing I miss about the service is the chocolate milk. That and the 10-cent beers in the ghee dunk machine.
Were you on an aircraft carrier, Sparky?
Yeah.
Because I know you used to do something with Tomcats, F-14 Tomcats, right?
Yes.
Was it maintaining or painting or?
Yeah, I was an AMS, which is aviation instructor mechanic, basically a tin bender. But you know, there's so many guys in AMI, which is intermediate maintenance. You know, thing bending tins, so they got to get these guys. AMH and AMS are a combined group. I didn't really want to do hydraulics, and they said, "Well, how about corrosion control?" I said, "What's that?" They said, "Painting." I said, "Okay, great." So I was a painter of gray, taught by the United States government. Our airplanes had white bottoms and gray tops, and then all the trim. I designed the VF-211 squadron colors and the bicentennial 1976 F-14. That was painted by me.
You got to feel pretty good about that.
Yep, but I don't get no credit for it. You won't find my name anywhere. I got 2 weeks leave, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
A week for each.
Yeah.
But when you look at those airplanes, either VF-211 or the bicentennial airplanes, if you don't see me in it, you ain't paying attention. It looks like a big model airplane.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
That's the same job my dad had. He joined the Navy in '50. Get away from Memphis. Spent 44 out of 48 months at Millington.
Yep, I was in Millington.
Mm.
He was a meat cutter for A&P when he went in, hoping to be in food service. He said, "Well, you can cut meat, you can cut sheet metal." He hated it.
That sounds about right.
That is funny.
Well, the story about me was Vietnam was still going on, winding down, and I didn't want to get drafted into the Marine Corps, so I shaved my head and joined the Navy. And they have, I don't know what it stands for, but they have this test called a BTB, basic, I don't know, something battery test. And they said, "Man, we're going to make you an electronics technician." I said, "What?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I want to be a mechanic." He said, No. You're smart enough for electronics tech. Well, to be an electronics technician, you got to have some big time math, you know, algebra and TIG and all that crap. Anyway, so they put me in a cubicle in Millington after I got shipped there. And they said, "Okay, we're going to do this, this, and that." And I sat there for like a week with all these math problems. There was no way I didn't have the no way I could do it. They said, "Well, we're going to send you to the fleet." I said, "Wait a minute. You guys, well, hold on a second. You guys gave me a contract that I was going to have an A school." So nothing we can do. I said, "Okay, great." So I went and complained to the chaplain. I went over the head of everybody. I said, "Man, the Navy's going to screw me." He said, "Well, we'll see what we can do." I said, I want to be a mechanic. So they sent me to sheet metal school. I did real good. I scored high because that's what I did in high school. You know, built shit and sand casted and sheet metal and all that crap. And I got assigned as a in VF 124, which is a RAG squadron at Miramar Top Gun School. And that's where you see the movie. This is before Tom Cruise and Top Gun, but that's Hangar 1 that you're seeing there, and that tower and all that. That's where the F4U Corsair sat. They said, well, we're going to make you a painter. I said, well, a painter, why? He said, well, corrosion control. And then I went to corrosion control school, intergranular corrosion, dissimilar metals. And I remember all that shit. And so they said, well, we're going to teach you about paint. And they did. We had to learn about viscosity and all that shit. It was worth it. It was a neat stint in my life.
When you got out, is that when you started as a mechanic for Harley?
A little after that. I was a sign painter.
Oh, that's right.
And a glazer. And actually I was a beveler. And that's basically grinding glass.
Yeah, right. I didn't know you did that.
I've done a little bit of everything. And then decided, you know what? I think I'll go to work on a motorcycle. This is nonsense. Well, I worked for Spartan American too for a while. AMC dealer.
Mm-hmm.
About the time that the Javelin and what was the name of the Pacer were around. They had another one too. The Rambler. I didn't want to work on cars though. They're too big and too heavy and greasy. I said, we'll get to motorcycles. I switched.
Now, did you do that for a long time?
About 40 years. Yeah.
I'd say so.
30 some or what. I got my portfolio down there. I'm a master service technology technician for Harley Davidson. High as up you can go. We built a lot of motorcycles, bondoed the frame and molded the frames and just did all kind of crap.
Yeah.
Machine work, and I can do whatever I want to do. And that's basically because of high school.
Yeah.
Now they don't teach shop in high school. Of course, they don't even teach cursive writing in high school.
Right. And there's I think it's a pretty severe shortage in the trade industries. The construction industry suffers from not having enough young people coming in, and there aren't welders out there. I think you can make a fortune if you're a welder.
Well, I did that when I worked for Jerry. Jerry was a member on our forum, and how that came about was I built that scale shoestring airplane, and I took it to Brodax. Let's see what year that was. Let's see. I got third at the Nationals with it. That was that was classic. Where is my, I don't know, somewhere around it. Oh, here it is, right? Sports scale. Doesn't have a year on it. Oh, 2016. That was 2016. And Jerry says, I was coming back from Brodax to go home and go to the Nationals. And I said, Jerry, it's a long ways. It's 300 miles more for me to go home and then come back to go to the Nationals for a week. You got anything for me to do around your shop? He said, yeah, come on. So I went to work for him. And he liked it so much. He said, well, I'll get you an apartment. And that's when he rented me the apartment over there in Dayton.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, well, first I started out installing handicap wheelchair lifts and customizing van interiors and that kind of stuff. I didn't want to bother with that because it had to do with another guy in the shop. I said, I'd rather be out in the truck. And, and we built, for BLS, we built flatbed trucks, welding. So can I weld? Yeah, I'm a good welder.
That's a big difference maker when you can weld.
I had a nephew that was one of the little skinny runts in high school. He got out and started doing the welding stuff. When Union got all the certifications, he's making about 150 a year. He was only working about 6 months out of the year.
Wow.
They got a job out in California, doing a lot of stuff around San Francisco. He'll go out there for 3 or 4 months, contract ends, so he gets unemployment, comes back home, draws it till next contract comes up. He makes more on unemployment than I ever made. It's crazy.
Where do you live?
Memphis, Tennessee.
Hmm.
You ever been to the hot air balloon on Highway 51?
What's that?
Have you ever been to the hot air balloon on Highway 51?
No.
Here's when I was there. A draft mug of Michelob at the hot air balloon was 25 cents.
There's so much of that stuff that's closed down since all the schools went away.
What do they call that? They call it some kind of square. Overton Square. Does that sound right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's still here.
God,
A lot of the restaurants have changed over, but it's still there going strong.
You know how many years ago? Let's see how many years. I think that's 50 years ago. I'm talking about. Let's see. I gotta add it up. Oh shit. We're in 2025. 2025 minus 10, 7. That's 51 years ago I was playing around down there.
You wouldn't recognize it now.
Well, I'll tell you what, when I first got there, I made a right turn, I made a left turn, I was lost. It wasn't a freeway going down there. I was trying to find 51. And I ended up in the hood. And when I say the hood, there was beds hanging from the balconies and shit, and mattresses on the floor. I said, holy shit, what am I getting into?
That hadn't changed either.
Did you know Jim Lynch?
Yeah. He when I was first flying in high school, he and Lester Goldsmith were running a hobby shop, Lester's backyard. That's who we bought most everything from. Good guy.
Yeah. Before he died, he gave me Allen Brickhouse's PA 61. How about Charlie Reeves? You know him?
No.
I think he's about 80. I think he's about 85. Jim would have been about 85 or 6, but he passed away, obviously.
Saw something on YouTube, not YouTube, but Facebook. Jim's wife passed away last week or two.
Joanne?
Yeah, I think that's her name. As I said, Lester Goldsmith put up that Jim Lynch's wife had passed away. Here's the funeral details.
Oh, boy. Well, I got her phone number. Of course, every time I call her, she's crying, so I quit calling down there.
Sparky, how many years were you in Dayton?
5.
And when you first went there, I
No,
mean,
6. Go ahead.
did you? I mean, you considered it to be a temporary thing, right? So
Yeah,
I'm curious. In your mind, how long did you think you were going to be there?
I didn't know. You know,
Or you had
until
no idea. You just went, and it just, because you obviously your roots remained in St. Louis, and
yeah, still
so
kept the.
I just wondered what was in your mind when you went there. Like, how long did you plan to stay? But it sounds like you didn't really have a plan.
No, when Jerry died,
Yeah.
they came in the shop and said, "Well, Jerry passed away." I went, "No shit." Well, I kind of figured something was up because it was a club meeting day, and usually his car was in the parking lot because we flew after work, and his car wasn't there, and I really didn't think much about it. Maybe he's gone to the doctor, maybe appointment doing something. And they came in and said, "Well, Jerry passed away last night." And one of the guys there didn't think I'd last as long. I worked an extra year after Jerry passed away, just because they needed help. They couldn't find anybody. Just the kind of guy I am, kind of felt obligated. But I really didn't enjoy it after he passed away. I had one friend in Dayton, that was John. I mean, that was my whole deal. And then now John's gone. But that is what happens when you get older. Everybody dies off.
That's right.
My dad outlasted everybody. He said, I got to, I can't believe it. I got nobody left. I outlasted them all.
I have a model
Go ahead.
airplane question for you, Sparky.
Okay.
Probably a simple thing for you, but for me, I'm struggling with it. It's making plywood nose rings and getting them perfectly round, inside diameter and outside diameter. How do you get those things so perfect?
Well, you take the spinner and you draw on the outside of the spinner. You hold that down and draw on the outside of the spinner.
Yeah, I can draw a circle.
Okay. You cut it on the outside of the spinner.
Okay.
Then you make the inside hole just big enough that the motor can stick through it.
Yeah.
Glue it on the airplane. Don't sand it yet. Glue it on the airplane. And then put the spinner on. Actually, I use one of these right here. Right here. This is a nose ring sander. It goes on the end of the motor shaft, and it sands. You twist it back and forth, and it sands the distance between the back plate and the spinner perfectly.
Yeah. Okay.
Then put tape on the spinner and sand right down to the spinner. And then it's got to be perfect. And then just go on the inside after you get that done. Go on the inside and draw a line, and then take a drum sander and sand up to the line.
Okay.
Make the inside perfect.
No, that's kind of what I've been trying to do. I guess I just need more practice. They never come out looking perfect.
Well, it doesn't really matter what the inner ring looks like as long as the outer ring looks like okay.
No, I agree. The inner one is, I mean, you try and make it perfect, but it doesn't matter because it's hidden. But you definitely want the outside diameter to be round, perfectly round.
Right. Now you could get a laser cut nose ring or whatever, but
yeah, but I want to be able to do it. I want to learn how to do it.
yeah, we're gonna get these covered tonight. That's good.
How many coats are you putting on?
This is the 4th coat on this. It's got 4 coats. This has 3.
You going to put that paintbrush in your store?
Yeah. This brush is so good, I swear you could paint an airplane with a brush finish.
That's why I'm asking, because I don't have painting equipment, and I mostly will monocoat. But there's certain things you end up painting, and I need to do it with a brush. So when you made that comment earlier, I thought maybe I ought to get that brush.
There's a big difference between. Let me see if I got this other brush. I mean, it's expensive. It's really not made for those. Hey, I don't see it. Oh, wait a minute. Here it is. Okay, this is the brush that most people use right here. This is a SIG brush, you can get.
Yep.
The hair feels like it's, I don't know what it's off of. These are the same size brushes, but you can look at it and see that this brush here, all the hairs are perfect and they're real soft. This is a one-stroke sign painter's brush.
Okay.
The 162 by Mac. I'll put it in the store after the stream.
Do the bristles stay in it when you're using it?
Absolutely. Make sure you buy the brush oil too. Every time you use this thing, I got it just marked brush oil. And I got some brush oil in my store, but that's not the brush oil I use. I use the Kafka brush oil, but it doesn't matter. But you could use motor oil or whatever. You don't want to let them things dry out. The hairs dry out. So when you're done cleaning it out, you just saturate that thing in oil and lay it in the pan so it's flat, so the bristles stay flat, and this will last the rest of your life.
Oh my, I didn't know about the oil. Okay.
Yeah, Von Dutch, he used motor oil, but I use Kafka brush oil. You ever hear of Von Dutch?
No.
You ever seen the flying eyeball? The eyeball with wings on it? Bloodshot eye, that's Von Dutch.
Must be before his time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I probably just wasn't paying attention.
Back in the 50s and 60s, when the hot rods were going on, I mean, that's when the craftsmanship was really happening.
Yeah, to see somebody do pinstriping freehand is incredible. I think haven't you done some of that on motorcycles?
Yeah, I've done it all. The gold leaf, pinstripe. I'm not practiced up anymore. I mean, I got through the tattoo signs and stuff. Did you see those?
Yeah, those are good.
And the gold leaf letters on my Monado, but they're done wrong. But there's a hand painted sign.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I got some other signs around here, different artworks, but I can see. Did you see me make my own teeth?
Yeah.
I did that in Dayton, and I'm wearing them. People don't believe it, but they look fine to me.
Yeah, that's amazing.
When I was a kid, I'd look at something and I'd want it, and I'd ask my dad, how can I get it? So, well, you can either buy it or you can make it. I said, make it? He said, you can make anything. I said, no, okay. And his thing, you can make anything you put your mind to, and he was exactly right. Did you hear the story about? There's pictures around here of the airplane called the Sorcerer, and it was a OS-32F piped airplane. It had a now I can't remember the guy's name, but anyway, the pipe was built by him. But I didn't have a header, and I tried a Bob McDonald header. He made some headers out of gas pipe and brazed them together, but they were heavy. I said, man, I got to bend aluminum and get them TIG welded and, make a nice header. So I kept bending headers and they kept kinking. And I told John Jordan about this too. But he built himself a weird looking header that pulls balls through it. And anyway, I said, I got to do this to keep it from kicking. So I tried sand in it. I tried ice in it. I tried all that shit. I said, I know that they bend that aluminum tube on the space shuttle. Why don't I call somebody that knows what they're talking about? And I called Cape Canaveral, NASA, Cape Canaveral. And somehow I got through I got the secretary and I said, I'm doing this project and I really need to speak to an engineer in the back, a mechanic. Can you send me back there? And they said, yeah, we'll send you back there. So I talked to this guy, I don't know, probably 20 minutes, and I explained to him what I was doing. I'm an AMS. I'm trying to bend these headers. How do you guys bend all those aluminum tubes in the space shuttle and the Saturn rocket? So, well, we freeze them in nitrogen. I said, well, shit, I got no nitrogen. He says, well, there is another way. I said, well, what is it? He says, bismuth. I said, bismuth? He said, yeah, it's a low temp melting metal. You run it under hot water, pour it in the pipe, put it in the cooler, get it solid. It's like bending a solid bar. I said, great. Where do I get it? He said, I'll send it to you. He sent me a half pound of bismuth.
Jeez.
That's just because I got enough guts to talk to people. So
yeah.
Just like when I was a kid, I saw Art Thorpe painting a sign. Hey, mister, what are you doing there? Man, that's really cool. Can you teach me? Just shit that
Yeah, good for you.
Ask questions.
Good for you.
I'm teaching Steve how to do stuff over here now. And he says that he's never met anybody that doesn't get upset when you screws up. Well, it's only wood. It's no big deal. We'll fix it.
Yeah, when you get upset, you're just wasting time and delaying your effort to fix it. Because all that matters at that point is fixing it.
Yeah, I get a kick out of these guys, and I've seen them not too much lately. I think the last time I saw somebody get upset was at the Nats when they crashed their airplane. They threw down their handle and walked off. But I've seen guys break airplanes, they screw. Just the Viper that I sold Jerry flipped off the bench a week before the Nationals and broke the fuselage right behind the trailing edge. I said, well, I guess I'm flying next year's airplane. I told Jerry about it. He said, well, I'll buy it from you. I said, okay, I'll put it back together. I put it back together, drug it over there, and he bought it.
You don't have any zip ties, do you?
What?
Here,
Oh, sorry. Oh, you got a camera and everything? Hey, guys.
Howdy.
Who's that?
my grandson.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thanks.
well, we're making Grandpa a YouTube star.
Yeah.
Yeah, he and his fiance moved in a couple of years before COVID. Actually, his mama passed away from fentanyl and had nowhere to go. They didn't want to stay in the same apartment, so they moved in temporarily. Then the world fell apart.
Wow.
Still
That's
here.
rough. That's rough. So that's your great grandson that's there?
No, that's grandson. And
That's
he's
your
got a
grandson,
6-year-old.
but his son is your great grandson. Yeah.
He and his fiance broke up about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. So she left, but he and still here. We have James about 3 days a week. But keeps you busy.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Otherwise, I'd have a 4-bedroom house and me.
Mm-hmm.
My wife passed away almost 3 years ago now.
Oh, sorry.
Sad story. She basically drank herself to death.
Oh my.
I've been there. It's hard to get out of it.
Yeah. She was off and on the whole 41 years we were married. Last 10 years was tough.
Let's see, 91 to 25. I've been sober 34 years now. And it was tough road to hoe to get sober.
Does it continue to be challenging, Sparky, or is there a point where you get to and it's automatic? It's not hard.
I don't even think about drinking. It's
Okay.
farthest from my mind.
You don't get occasional temptations?
No, I can go to a bar and watch you drink, whatever. It don't bother me.
That's good.
Because I know one drink and I lose everything.
Just give you a Dr. Pepper and you're happy, right?
I quit drinking Dr. Pepper. It was no good on my kidneys.
Yeah, that's true.
I quit smoking. All I do is vape now. Been doing that about 6 years, maybe 7 years. But I smoked 2 packs of Camel non-filters a day for 30 years.
Oh my God.
I've been watching these videos about birds. Wendy always had his bird.
Yeah, he loved that little bird.
I've been watching these videos about birds, and I'm thinking, maybe I ought to get me a bird. Then I got to thinking, if I got him in here, and I start painting an airplane, I'd tear shit up.
Yeah, he might kill him too.
Birds are missing.
We got squirrels out front that we feed, and all the cats and all this shit. I don't need more animals. And squirrels are getting bold. They'll come right up to the door. I thought he was going to come inside the other night. He rushed the door, waiting on his peanut. I said, "Okay, come on in."
You got one that comes onto your porch because you give him a peanut?
Oh yeah.
That's funny.
And what's really funny is that the cats, we got possums and stuff back there too, but the cats eat with the possums, and they're like 6 or 8 inches away from the squirrels. They don't bother them.
Huh.
It's unbelievable. We had a raccoon in the tree. Got rid of the tree now, but the raccoon in the tree, and he was so bold, it scared Chris about half to death with the raccoon in the tree. She wanted to get in the car, and the raccoon was doing so. I got a pot and a wooden spoon. He just looked at me like, "What are you doing?" Making all the noise in the middle of the night. He didn't care.
You don't scare me.
Not at all. See, we got possums, squirrels, raccoons. I haven't seen any deer because we're pretty far into the city, but I wouldn't put it past it because we got the River de Pere down there, and they probably walk up the river. You got deer in Memphis in your yard, don't you?
Yeah, they're all around us. We're actually in a suburb at Bartlett, and a lot of woods in between neighborhoods and stuff. They're pretty thick.
We used to be eating lunch in John's backyard and watch the deer jump over the fence into his backyard to eat his vegetable garden up. they can really jump. So basically, this is my 1-day build. I guess maybe I don't know. See, I won't get them done by 8 o'clock.
Sparky, would I be able to use that brush with finishing resin, or would it ruin the brush?
Oh, that'd kill the brush.
Okay.
And no finishing resin. Use acid brushes from Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
$1 for 20 or whatever it is. You get 36 for $1.98 or whatever.
Yeah, I've got those.
These right here.
Yeah. Throwaways.
Yeah. You don't want to use no good brush with resin.
That's why I asked.
And you're going to run any urethane through an airbrush, you better make sure to take it apart after using it and clean it out spotless. We'll leave lacquer in an airbrush and get it out by soaking it, but urethane hardens up like a rock.
Hmm.
So I think what's going to happen is, at the end of this show at 8 o'clock, I'm going to go open up a Zoom meeting and put it into the At the Bench. And if Steve comes on, he'll babysit. But I'm not going to stay on for another 2 or 3 hours because I've already put in this going on my 3rd hour. I started at 5, 2 hours and 41 minutes now. But I wanted to get this pretty much underway. Let me clean this up and I'll put them hinges, the flap. Did you see the difference between the two set sizes?
Oh yeah. Yep. I think it looks good too. Everything looks in proportion.
14 inches bigger. That's a lot. I have to get some clean thinner in there. Hopefully I don't have to sand the stab too much. Put the tissue on it tomorrow. Get 3 coats on it and get the first coat of white on it tomorrow. I didn't realize today was Friday. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, you thought it was Thursday.
Yeah.
The reason I asked you earlier, Sparky, how thick the stabilizer was is because I was talking with Tom Dixon the other day. And he was telling me that what he does with 40 size stunners is instead of a 1/2 inch built up stabilizer, he uses a 1/4 inch stab for the stabilizer and the elevators. For a 40 size, in his opinion, they're plenty stiff and you save a lot of weight.
I guess. That's not what I do. But
Yeah,
that's
right.
Tom wants.
Of course, you've gotten away from doing built up stabs, right?
No, this is built up.
That one's built up. Okay.
Yeah, it's all I do.
Oh, I was thinking you went to solid. But...
Well, if I can get solid wood, it's lighter to do it solid.
Okay.
If I can get a good 3.5 to 4 pound piece of 3/8, 4-inch wide, straight grain, it'll be solid.
So you'd live with 3/8?
Oh yeah. Well, no, 1/2 inch. I mean,
1/2 inch. Okay.
like I bought a piece of 1/2 inch the other day. Now this is a nice piece of 1/2 inch. It's a Bud Nosen 1269 for this sheet. But let me weigh it up and I'll tell you it's too heavy.
Yeah, I'm curious what the weight is.
It's too heavy. When I felt it, I felt all right, but I weighed it once. It's 111 grams. You know, that doesn't sound very heavy, but let's figure out what it is. 111. Okay. One 36 4-inch. Yeah. Calculate. 5.87. Too much. It's still contest wood.
Yeah, for me, that's good wood. I'm happy when I find something under 6 pounds.
Well, I got a lot of wood I can sell you. I got,
Really?
oh yeah, lots of wood. 5 boxes of really nice looking wood. It's just, it's like that piece there. It's nice looking, but the way I look at it is, you know, I got a lot of money and time in these things. And I don't want to put a whole lot of money into something that's not going to be perfect, you know. And
Yeah.
like, I think this airplane's going to be too heavy, but 62 ounces, you know, what are you going to do?
Realistically, for me, I have to be satisfied with 4 to 6 pound wood.
Well, yeah.
And I have some of that because I bought it from a guy that had it for many years, and, you know, 4, 5, 6 pounds. And I compare that to the wood that was in the Vector kit that I bought.
Yeah, that was plywood in the Vector.
Shit. I pulled out a piece of 1/2 inch, which was for the top block.
Yeah.
It was between 10 and 11 pounds.
Yeah, it's RC wood.
Yeah. So when I'm going from 10.5 pounds to 6 pounds, I feel good.
Well, I try to get 3.5 to 4 pound wood, but it's
Sure.
so far, yeah, it's so far, you know, it's just not available much anymore.
Right.
Back in the 60s, late 60s, I go to Ed Scovina Hobby, and I grab that wood and I take my thumb and it was real white, tight grain wood. I put my thumbnail into it, and Ed would lean over the counter. You boys aren't back there marking that wood, are you? Oh no, sir. That shit was light.
Yeah.
Yeah. You boys aren't back there putting thumbnails in the wood, are you? Oh no, sir. We'd ride our bicycles up Hacienda Boulevard. Boy, that was a long ride as a kid, probably 5 miles, you know. But as a kid on a bicycle.
Yeah.
And then you got to carry all that wood back.
Yeah.
Mow lawns all weekend, you know, during the week, during the summer, whatever, and get up $10. $10 was a lot of money back then.
Sure.
and go buy wood. You know, each stick of wood was a quarter or whatever. And try to get all that shit home on a bicycle. That's when my dad said, "Well, we're gonna get a hobby shop." These came out good.
Well, the plane looks sharp. I like
Thank
it. Real sharp.
Good colors.
Will
Yeah.
it be on the front row? I don't know. It all depends.
I know you got some stripes you're going to put on the tail feathers yet.
Yeah, they go right here.
I think you gave up your idea of putting some green on there somewhere.
Yeah, green is done. We got all the colors on it. It's got 5 colors. That's plenty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors. Yep, that's
It's sharp. What color's the spinner going to be?
well. I usually paint them the same color as the airplane up there, so it'd be red. But I'm
Okay.
not sure. It depends on the balance of this airplane. This is the spinner I wanted to use because it's light. It's a carbon fiber job, but it's got a goofy shape to it. It doesn't. Let me get my finger off of this. It doesn't quite flow with the nose, if you can see what I'm talking about.
Are you looking for more of a needle nose?
No. No, let me zoom in on this and show you.
Turn around while you're doing it. Do the other stick. Turn around.
Oh,
You stay right there. Rebuild.
yelling going on. Okay. I want this line that I've sanded into it to mold right into the spinner. Well, it's got a kind of a hump right there, so I got 1 or 2 choices. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do now. Yeah.
I got 1 or 2 choices. I can either put this in a drill and sand it. Why can't I get that on there? Gotta be right like that. There we go. Or I can call smooth on. I already have a back plate mold and get some hydrometer plastic and mold the spinner like this one that has the right shape on it. That is the correct shape. You see how much better that looks?
Yeah, I see the big difference. Yeah.
It's still got a little bit of a drop right here, but I would have to take this lump all the way back to here, and it's not practical.
Yeah, the curve on it's a little more consistent with the nose of the
lump.
plane.
Now, I can mold this out of plastic, or I can put this one on and leave it polished. I got a buffer. I can polish it up. But I won't know what it needs until I fly it.
Hey!
Hey guys, I hate to bail out on you, but I got a dog down at my feet begging to go outside.
That's all right. We'll see you next Monday in the
Have a great rest of your evening.
Oh, y'all too. See you
Will
later.
do. Bye-bye.
That was nice. He said he finally got a camera. So
That's great that he jumped in. Sparky, have you ever done a little miniature checkerboard spinner?
You mean like Falco's?
I was trying to think where I saw that. Maybe it was his, but I'm thinking a spinner that's checkerboard.
Yeah, Mike Falco, yellow and black or white. No, maybe it is yellow. It is yellow and black. Checks on the spinner.
Yeah, it's yellow and black. Mustang. Yes, yes.
I don't think I'm going to do that on this.
Have you ever done it on a spinner?
No.
Okay.
it would be hard to do.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
He must have pulled his hair out to get all them checks on it. And where he really must have pulled his hair out is the underbelly scoop.
Yeah.
Because those checks go under that scoop and around, and they look perfect. I don't know how he got down in there. So
that's one of my favorite looking airplanes when I go to the Nats. I think it's a cool plane.
That's an old airplane.
Yeah, I know. He's been flying it a long time.
He can't fly it too much besides contests.
Yeah, sure he's busy.
Kind of like Billy's Thunderbolt. That's a really old airplane, and he don't bring it out unless it's war.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's still in great shape. It's probably a third row. It's a third row airplane. I think when I judged it, I put it on the third row.
Mm-hmm.
And after 25 years, that's great.
Fantastic, yeah.
It was a front row. I think it won the concourse too. Either that one or his red one. I don't remember. But like I was saying earlier, I won one concourse trophy. There's a lot of guys who don't win one. So
yeah, I saw when you won it with the Minato.
Yeah.
And the Minato at that point was not new. That wasn't your first.
That was 7 years old.
Yeah.
But that was the first time it was at the Nats.
Okay.
The reason why it was at the Nats, well, I had my 2017 Junar XL that was long in the tooth, and I was talking to them guys. I said, well, I can either fly the Junar, when it's long in the tooth, and give up the appearance points, or fly the Minato. And I wasn't going to win anyway. So John says, go for it. Just fly the Minato. So
now later on, that Junar XL that you mentioned, is that the one that you stripped and repainted?
Yep, I'm going to do that again this winter.
Because I mean, I remember you saying that's your best flying airplane.
Yep. That thing flies unbelievable. Unbelievable.
You build airplane after airplane, and I think most of them fly well, but nothing seems to get to that level of that Junar XL.
That's correct. It's one of them airplanes, just like Billy was always hunting for his Aries.
Yeah.
He built lots of airplanes. You're only going to end up with 2 or 3 airplanes in your life that fly perfect.
Yeah, right.
So my thought on that airplane is, after this one's done, getting it out here and getting the paint stripper on it, stripping it and refinishing it.
Wow. That's so much work.
Be faster to finish it than it would be to build one.
No, that's true.
Jerry put his thumb through the leading edge at Huntersville. I hit the ground upside down with it and knocked the top of the rudder off of it.
Okay.
You have a Juno kit. Yeah, I had a Juno kit. I sold it at Brodax. That's a good airplane, but that's a classic N30 airplane. Well, it's coming up to the 8 o'clock hour. We got 21 people.
Yeah,
watching.
I'm good to go. I want to ask you one quick question though. When you line the mating surfaces for your cowl, you use 1/64th. Is it bass or 1/64th?
It's plywood.
Something else.
It's plywood.
1/64th ply. Okay.
All right, $50 a sheet.
Hmm.
You get a. Yeah, I don't remember who made the Juno kit. I got mine from Traxler, I think. But at 64th plywood is 2 foot by 48. Or no,
Would
It-
bass work?
no, it's too heavy. You ain't gonna get 64th basswood anyway, I don't believe.
I'm thinking I might have some, but maybe it's 32nd. I'll have to check.
Well, and not only that is I end up doing the superfill trick, you know, where I
Yeah,
put
I've done that. That
Yeah.
works. That works great.
Did you learn that from me?
I think I did. I believe I did. Either you or Hunt. I think you first, and then later on, Hunt. Hunt uses a certain transparent material for that.
Yeah, it's called shrink or not shrink wrap, but saran wrap.
Well, I know saran wrap works.
Well, he
But
has
there-
Mylar.
Mylar, that's what it was, Mylar. So I bought some of that Mylar.
Yeah, saran wrap works perfect.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll let you go so you don't have to hang on here, Sparky.
I gotta eat dinner. I don't.
Yeah.
I gotta see if Esteban wants to run this thing yet.
All right. I got to run.
All right, guys. Look at the bench for a Zoom meeting if you guys want to run one. Alrighty, like, subscribe, and share. Check out the store. I'm gonna put the Mac brush in the store right now after I get off here, and I'll see you tomorrow. Or if you're a member, you can go over on Zoom and let me see if Esteban wants to run this or not. I could post the link and you guys can get in from here. "51 years ago I was there." God, it seems like yesterday. Phone call. Contacts. RS. There we go. Right there. Yeah, are you you want to do it or what? All right. We'll just keep it as Monday night then. All right, thanks. All right. Talk to you later. Bye. Yeah, no Zoom meeting tonight. So that is it for us this evening. I appreciate you watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Check out the store. I'll go ahead and put this Mac brush in the store. I get a little commission on it, and it doesn't cost you nothing extra. Helps out the channel. All right. We'll see you later. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.